What's up guys, welcome back to Alert Sports. It's Jono. I have a video today that I've promised for a little bit. It's been pushed back, but I'm happy to finally get it out to you guys. I think you're gonna like it. So today I am doing the full in-depth review of the Matrix / S&T gas blowback AR-15 9-inch key mod rail version. So I had a little bit of an unboxing kind of intro video where I was just talking about the overall appearance of the gun. I hadn't gotten it out to play yet, but I had, backyard plinking here and there. So now I've gotten a little more time with the gun, got to take it out for a few different weekends, gotten some play time with it. I've probably put thousands of rounds through it now. And so I really feel like I can give a relatively in-depth look at it, tell you what my thoughts are, things that could be improved, things that I like about it, and really upgrades or anything I'm looking to do in the future. So just a little bit of an intro on the gun. It's manufactured by S&T and then distributed under the name of Matrix through Evike. A little bit of history on S&T. It was founded in 2009. Their headquarters is located in Hong Kong. They have a subsidiary office in Japan, but really all the manufacturing is done in China. So the price of this gun, if you're going to get it off of Evike like I did, it's $185 base price, but I got it on sale for $139. I would always keep an eye out for the kind of lightning deals that they do. I actually, spoiler alert, just picked up the full metal body version of this in the CQBR length. I'll have a video on that. So I've really enjoyed this rifle so far, so I wanted to get my hands on that just to kind of see how it compares to it. And I was going to kind of build two different platforms, one being more fast-paced, almost race gun style, which is the plan for this, and then the other to be more of a, well, I'm not a milsim player exactly, a more milsim style rifle. So as I mentioned, the cost of this gun is $185. The cost of magazines, I buy the Golden Eagle mags. I've had zero issues with them. They always feed, they always finish with gas. The only time I've ever had an issue is one time during game I'm not sure if I had a light strike and it just released all the gas out of the side, but I've never had that happen again. Could have been that I didn't have the bolt fully locked in, or I didn't have the mag seated properly. But other than that one instance, I've never had any issues with them. So if I had to recommend a mag, I would say those are great. Being that it's a WA system, you can use any of your mags from King Arms to GHK to GMP. While those are getting harder and harder to find, to come across, those are sitting around $50 to $60, while the Golden Eagle mags are about $35. So honestly, those are a great deal. You can find them on Evike. They're kind of hard to find anywhere else other than in Hong Kong, but right now, shipping from them is a little bit difficult. That being said, the average cost of a setup, I would say, if you're just gonna have the base gun, no real attachments, is gonna be $325. That's gonna be your minimum cost of the gun and how many mags you would want to buy. If you use Evike's EvikeCom coupon code, you can get all of that for like $290 because this is not map protected and neither are the mags. So definitely recommend that. After some accessorizing and stuff, you're gonna see around $400 for a full, finished setup. So let's talk about some of the competitors that are going to be in this price range. Realistically, this is going to be in sort of a class of its own. Now, there's going to be competition of the JG and Golden Eagle versions, but as far as I know, those are really the same gun, just S&T has gone in and upgraded some of the internals. I'll go over that a little bit later. The only real competition for these are going to be kind of KWA subguns. And so if you're really looking for a gas blowback rifle that is budget friendly and performs decently, this is really it. Now, those subguns like the MP9, which sits at $209 with $50 mags, is already more expensive than this gun. And the mags themselves are more expensive than the mags. So any setup pretty much is going to be more expensive. And the great thing about these mags hold 54 rounds comfortably, as long as you have a speed loader that can load it, because it can be very annoying. I ended up just using a normal speed loader with the gas mag attachment on the end, and it ended up working okay, but I kind of had to go through a couple speed loaders to find one that worked. But that holds plenty of ammo, and it always gets through it. The MP9 is really going to be its only decent competition, and you're still going to get a cheaper setup with this gun, and you get a full-sized rifle. So in the first video, I kind of showed you what comes in the box. It comes basically just packed in foam, high quality foam. I appreciated that. It was well packaged. The foam cutouts fit it very well. It was not jumbling around. Pulling it out of the box, I was pretty impressed from the start. The overall fit and finish for this price point is pretty good. Now, obviously being a polymer body, it's not going to be the best, but really for what it is, it's decent. I haven't had any issues with it really like creaking or anything. The only thing I would say is texturing. Give it a little bit of texturing so it doesn't look so shiny on the lower. As you can see, the upper isn't as bad as the lower. It's just so shiny, and then I have had an issue with this front receiver pin not seating properly, and there's a little bit of play between the upper and lower receiver, which you can see there, but it's never given me an issue actually playing on the field. So one thing about the body of this rifle is, as you saw in the first video, the mag fitment was very tight out of the box. After playing around with it, getting a few games, it is better, but I will say these Golden Eagle mags still have a very tight fit in the body. It's not really an issue. I never have an issue with getting them out, but it's just something to note. Good thing about that, you're not gonna have a mag drop free and bust on the floor, which I have had that happen before. I've had feed lips break. I've had other things happen with gas mags. My KWA Vector, I had 3 feed lips break. I had to order them special from Hong Kong before the whole shortage happened. I had some extras. Who knows where they are now? That was years ago. But I'm glad that these don't drop free. While they do have metal feed lips on the magazines, you never want your gas mags falling and hitting the concrete. One reason why I have these mag poles on here, the mag assists give a little bit of extra protection, and also just a little bit of grip pulling them out of the gun and the magazine pouch. So highly recommend putting these on as many of your GBBR magazines as you can. I know they have different versions of them. It's just a great thing to have, a little bit of protection, and also I think, looks pretty good. So overall cons list for the externals, really just gonna be that texture, and there is some play. You can push the safety out and it can actually get kind of jammed. I had one time I accidentally pushed it entirely into the body, and during the game I had to crack open the receivers and kind of jam my finger in there and get the safety back through. But I was able to clear that and get back into the game in less than 20 seconds. So the rail, I figured this out. This is a ZCI rail, which I actually, while it is a cheap rail, I've liked it so far. I ended up getting one of these for my kind of primary, my Polar Star F2 Ares M4, and I've liked that so far as well. It replaced my AIM sports rail that I had on there. I had a little stubby 4-inch, and I got the 7-inch so that I could have a recessed suppressor look, and I've liked it. So going over some of the things that I've added to the externals of this gun. First, we'll start with stock. So as you can see, I have fitted a non-standard or non-stock stock. This stock is a Mission First Tactical Battle Link Minimalist stock. This stock is mil spec. However, I do believe this buffer tube is actually commercial spec because this was a very tight fit. I haven't tried a commercial spec stock on here. I was able to get this on, but it's not moving. But positive to that, there is no wobble. It works great for me. I love this stock so far, and I think it completes the look of the gun fairly nicely. So next thing I've added is this sling attachment point. So this is manufactured for GMP for their WOC line. It doesn't fit perfectly. I'm gonna actually have to grind down this top a little bit. There is wobble until you actually really crank down that castle nut. But as you can see, if I was to just pull the bolt back straight, does contact the top of that. I'm gonna have to grind that down a little bit, but you can still, you know, achieve the full function of the bolt no matter what. Next thing I've added is this T1 style replica sight. It's useful for those really tightly placed shots that I need to know exactly where I'm going, but generally playing CQB, I'm able to kind of use a natural feel. I'm never more than, you know, 20 or 30 feet away, so typically it's a point and shoot situation, reactionary, and I've had no issues with that. But I had this up there for if I'm ever taking this into the field, outdoor, or for when I need to, you know, shoot through a tight crack, shoot through a window. Along with that sight, I have a flip up protector. Moving up even further, we have an AIM Sports Key Mod vertical grip. This thing is very slim, very low profile. I like it a lot. As you can see, I do kind of an angled grip, locking my middle finger in there, and then I'm able to activate my light. Speaking of the light, I have an Opsman 501 Fast in tan with the Opsman pressure switch run up to the top. It also has a tail cap switch that has both constant on, momentary, and strobe, which I really like. But since my playstyle, I switch to offhand a lot. I like having a pressure switch up top. It's just easier to locate and get on that fast. As you can see, I turned the front sight around just to give myself a little bit more rail space. And on the front, I have the Ace Tech Lighter S. So overall, here's the look of the gun. Show you from the other side. So let's talk about what I've added internally. I've kept it stock. I wanted to get a good idea of how this thing ran and how this thing performed. One thing I've done for longevity is I've actually added in the King Arms buffer tube spacers. This kind of deletes my bolt lock, bolt release. I'm not going to be doing this on the next one I own, but because I want to kind of turn this into a race gun, I really don't need the bolt release. I basically dry fire once, load a magazine, rack it, and I'm back in the fight. But what that does do is it just takes away another wear point. I'm not positive of whether or not the bolt release is steel on this, and if it is, it's just less wear on the bolt carrier group. So overall, I just didn't really see a need for it, and I've never had an issue with running it without it. I can pretty easily recognize, you know, hey, I'm not shooting anything, so I need to reload. Other than that, I've left this gun completely stock and honestly have not had any gripes. The one thing that I wish was easier would be finding buckings for these WA systems. Now, I like to throw in some maple leaf buckings to a lot of my guns. I have on my WEG-39, I have a maple leaf and it performs amazing. I have it on my pistols. So I wanted to get one of those, but I don't know if they produce them. I haven't looked too far into it, but just on initial look, I couldn't find any. I found some King Arms buckings, which I'm not sure how those compare to the ones that are thrown in here. May get it just to try it, but honestly, it hops just fine. It can overhop 2.5s, which is what I use indoors, and I'm sure it could, you know, hop 3s out to however far you need it if you're playing outdoors. Internals have been pretty good. The things that are made steel by S&T, I believe, are the trigger, the sears, the hammer, and I am not sure about the bolt catch. I would think so, but I can't be positive. But really everything you need to be steel in here should be steel, and I've had no issues with it so far. One interesting thing, the nozzle is actually brass. So I'm not sure how much that increases performance or longevity, but interesting touch. So touching more on how this thing shoots, it's as accurate as I need it to be. You know, you have little stray off here and there every few shots, but relatively consistent throughout the entire magazine. So was very impressed with that. You'll see in some of the gameplay, it's consistent. You can rapid fire and you don't get too much of a cooldown. The mags hold plenty of gas. You can get probably 2 fills on it. Now I usually just refill in between games. So I never really have an issue with it. It's chronoing in at about 384 very consistently. Every time I chrono at the field, I'm within 5 FPS, so I've been very happy with that. That's on 0.25s, so getting close to 400, 390, 395 with 0.2s. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay with it. I'll be throwing that up right now.
Slower. Surrender.
So let's discuss final thoughts. Honestly, from the beginning all the way through, I've been very impressed with this gun. Its performance, its price point, they all seem to be right. They were all what I was looking for. And honestly, getting this on sale for, what, like 150 bucks? I mean, you can get a decent pistol for that, and you're getting a full GBBR. That is insane to me. That was unheard of when I first got into the sport, and so it's great that you can do that now. I'm even more impressed that they have a full metal body version for almost the same exact price. That's why I've got that coming in. I got that on sale. Once again, shout out Evike Lightning Deals. Always be looking at that, guys. Keep an eye on those sales, and you can almost always find, something you're looking for, especially those Matrix brand things like this. So I would expect these models to be going on sale, more in the future as well if you're looking to get your hands on it. So just keep an eye on it. One thing to note that is a little annoying is, getting mags for it. You're either going to be spending 50 or 60 bucks on mags, getting the GMP, King Arms, GHK mags. The GHK are objectively the best. But if you're wanting to get these that work just fine, 35 bucks, $32 with the coupon code, they're amazing, but they're kind of hard to get your hands on. Got another mag coming in and the other gun coming in, so I'm gonna have a total of, I think, 5, I'm gonna have a total of 6, which is more than enough. I mean, I've been playing with 4 and never run out of ammo. So would I buy this gun again? Absolutely. I think you can say definitively that I do like this gun. I do think it is incredibly good for the price point. I mean, buying any gun when I got into the sport for 150 bucks, you were expecting it to, either need something immediately to make it decent, or it was gonna break. And so to get into the GBBR world for that price point it's still incredible to me, and I really like that it's allowing players who may not be able to go and buy a $500 GHK or a WE that they're gonna have parts wear down and have to replace everything. Now, while that does get you good at maintaining your gas blowbacks, which you should always do, I just like the kind of plug and play nature of this. And if for some reason this rifle was to catastrophically fail, it's not that much to replace. And also the widespread nature of this gas system. If I decide to get a GHK or I get a WOC challenge kit, I'm able to use my mags, which is a huge thing for gas blowbacks, because who wants to spend $200 on mags and not be able to use them for any of your other guns? I hope you guys kind of got a good idea. Maybe I answered some questions that you may have about the gun, put your mind at ease about some things. but also kept you thinking about, you know, things that you may add or change. Obviously, every gun is going to be fit and finished to the user's preference, but this is how I like running my gun, and I've been happy with it so far. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you sticking around watching the whole video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the review style. If you have any comments on it, just leave them below. I appreciate any feedback. I kind of just make videos how I enjoy watching videos, having the things that I like talk about, and answering some of the questions that I may have had about the gun. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be down in the comments like on the last video. But yeah, I appreciate you guys' support, and look forward to seeing you in the future. This is John of Alert Sports, and I'll see you next time.